Welcome to Hope from the Word. I'm Pastor Mike Swenson. You've likely seen them over and over. There are two toddlers, they're playing together, they're interacting with some toys, they're having fun, and all of a sudden, one of them decides that he wants this particular toy. Well, the problem is the other one wants it at the same time. So finally, the adult has to step in and say, look, you both can share. You can share with each other, and then you can take turns. Hopefully, the problem is solved. And we know how that is with toddlers. But then there's another time that you find a toddler, and he's there, and he's crying. There's other kids around him. And then you see this other child come over to him, a toddler himself, brings a soft stuffed animal that will soothe their pain, and he hands it to the other one to show his care and concern for them. He shares that animal, and that child stops crying. And you as an adult, you're surprised. It's like, where did that come from? But it's kind of exciting to be able to see that at times, that love and that sharing that people have, even as small children. And we find over in the book of Philippians, one of the apostles that is out and he's sharing the good news of Jesus Christ with others. And we find him, here he is in a situation, and some others are sharing with him to make things work for the ministry. We find it over in the book of Philippians from this church of Philippi, and he writes to them, and he says in chapter 4, verses 10 to 13, a few words, and this is what he writes to them. He says, "Yet it was good of you to share in my troubles. Moreover, as you Philippians know, in the early days of your acquaintance with the gospel, when I set out from Macedonia, not one church shared with me in the matter of giving and receiving except you only." So it had only been them that had taken part with him and was sharing with him during that time. "And for even when I was in Thessalonica, you sent me in more than once when I was in need. Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that more be credited to your account." And he's talking about their spiritual account and their life, and that the Lord would provide for them. Then he says in verse 18, "I have received full payment and have more than enough. I am amply supplied now that I have received from Epaphroditus the gifts you sent. And they are a fragrant offering, an acceptable sacrifice pleasing to God. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." He's talking about everything in their lives. And so there were some other churches out there that may not have been able to help Paul, or maybe they were able to help. Maybe they didn't know about his situation. We're not sure, and we don't know why they didn't take part with him. But the Philippians did. It could be the others just weren't aware. But the followers of Jesus at Philippi took part in sharing with the Apostle Paul, and maybe even his whole team. We don't know. He does say "I" in there, but it could include his team. And he was so grateful for how they had helped him to make it through those challenging times, that but he was still more concerned that God would bless them than his concern for receiving the gifts for himself. They were a lifesaver to him, but he was praying that God would bless back their lives. Bless them in every way, in all kinds of ways. And Paul reminded them that their sacrifice of sharing, it was pleasing to God. It wasn't just a kind gesture that they had made towards the apostle. It actually made a difference not only in his life as a missionary, but also it made a difference in the lives of others so that they could hear the good news of Jesus Christ. Because Paul was now able to go and serve in that area. Maybe he wasn't able to at that time, except they took part with him. And it's here where he says that famous promise. It's one of those great promises of God that he gives back to this family, but also really it relates to you and I as we share with others as well and share in the work of the gospel of Christ. And he says this, "My God will meet all your needs according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus." I pray that you become a person who shares in the Master's work, that you continue to walk with him, that you continue to be a part of what he is doing, and you're in your local church, here at the church, and around the world, as he causes his name to be known among the nations. May we all continue to be those who share. May the Lord bless you this week and be strong in Christ. God bless.